Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again, another reaction for you guys. Today guys, of course, we're here continuing the journey of Ben 10. This is Ben 10 Season 4, Episode 3, titled Don't Drink the Water, giving us a pretty good life lesson. If it's not tap water or bottled water, you realistically shouldn't drink the water, so don't drink the water. So thank you for the life lesson, but besides all that, interesting title, Don't Drink the Water. So, the last episode, Dr. Animo returned with a seagull, like, dragon type thing. Of course, he modified and mutated a bird that was bringing him like software, like pieces individually and everything, and he created this device. Of course, he breaks out and he's like, I'm gonna go after Ben Tennyson. Like, of course you are, Dr. Animo, of course you are. It's crazy. He's appeared quite often, and he was in the second ever episode of Ben 10. Yeah, I was going to say the first. Like, no, it was the second episode of Ben 10. It's kind of crazy that he's still coming back in the 4th season of the show. And then on top of that, we got introduced to a new alien, Ditto, that could multiply, and voiced by Rob Paulsen, who is fantastic. I'm so happy I was able to interview him, but I also am a little upset that I didn't get to this point in Ben 10 where I could ask him about Ben 10, because I had no idea he voiced an alien in Ben 10, so that's unfortunate, but he's awesome as voicing Ditto. And seeing this character and seeing how Ben can multiply a lot with a Ditto, and that's really cool. And then there's also things where if one of the Dittos is separated from the others, even when the timer goes down for the Omnitrix, he doesn't revert back to Ben. Like, they're all still separated. So that's kind of interesting. So maybe they could use that to their advantage, which I did mention that in the review portion of that episode, saying maybe that could happen. But really enjoyed that episode. I really did. There was someone who also commented, because I was mentioning how the mutated like giant squid that Dr. Animo made, I'm like, oh, it's the Kraken. People are like, no, the Kraken was in season 1. I'm like, if you look up Kraken on Google and then the mythological creature, it's mostly tied into a giant squid. That was kind of my reference point. But I get what you're saying, because I don't even think about the Kraken in the show. I was thinking about just the Kraken, like that name or whatever. Like, oh, it's the Kraken. So yeah, I really enjoyed that episode. It was a little bit different. They were on the beach. Ben's trying to have some fun. Of course, everything goes to shit at that point. But I really enjoyed that episode. I really did. And also seeing Gwen use magic was freaking awesome. Like, seeing her use more magic, please, I need more of that. So let's get into it now, guys. Let's check it out and see what this episode is all about. Don't drink the water, kids. Don't do it. Let's go.
You will be very sorry if you cannot help me.
Well, there is a bright side.
Good. Lucky girl did not take all.
Oh, shit.
Strength. What else can you provide me with?
I didn't expect to see him.
But I know where you can find more.
The Fountain of Youth?
Where is it? The Fountain of Soda.
It's weird how he's looking for the Fountain of Youth and they're there.
Oldest city in
Why do the words always have to be so darn small?
Can't
Point.
read the words, Grandpa.
The one thing about old people is they don't want to be reminded they're old.
Yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't worry about Grandpa getting. I got you beat.
Oh no, I heard that.
I mean, I have lead feet.
She's missing. Oh, yeah, sneak attack.
One ticket, please. Sorry, this booth is out of order.
Aw, come on. I mean, good. Just right away, just showing up. Oh my gosh.
We kicked your butt before, and we'll do it again.
Do it again. Do it again. Round 2.
I will deal and you now.
Why is he going after him? Oh, holy crap.
It's not nice to keep secrets.
It's not nice to keep secrets. There you go. Uh-oh.
Something so powerful. If the truth
Fountain
was
of
revealed,
Youth. So he knows.
the world
He's prepared now. Ooh. Reflector type thing? That's kind of cool. Okay. Oh. Oh crap.
You know, I've never felt better.
What in the fuck?
A kid again.
What is happening?
You're like.
Scared the crap out of that kid. He dropped his ice cream. Come on.
Again. Forget watching what I eat anymore. Look, I got Rocky Road, mint
Oh,
chip,
no.
and chunk a hunk of bubble.
Now act your age.
Okay.
I mean, he's kid again,
How old
kind
am I
of.
now?
I don't know.
You look about 10.
Hello? Hex is on the still loose, and he's after something that sounds mega important.
Yes.
Right after we play tag. You're it.
I just pushed him.
So not happening. Only applies to armadillos?
Armadillos. Oh god, I was like, they're playing video games.
That game booth guy seemed to be keeping something a pretty big secret. Maybe
The
there
water?
was something in the water.
The water.
Use the elemental.
Holding together.
The water's picking up 12 times the amount of oxygen.
Amazing Amusement Company. 1257
Okay.
Northfield Lane. Not you too!
What? This is so weird.
To the Omnitrix.
You and your aliens have gotten younger like Grandpa.
But it just now happened. I guess there's like a delayed effect.
You may want these.
Yeah, need books. Oh my god.
This is not
Baby
funny.
Ben.
I always knew I was more mature than you.
So weird. Wait, he's wearing his clothes.
My Peter.
This is so weird.
Look anymore.
I warned you about not going into the booth. Now stay
Why
back.
was it out in the open though? Why was the water there?
You just missed him.
Transformer! Transformer!
Turn to pulp.
He's so tiny. Oh no.
Great.
He came for the water.
Where's the
I have
water?
been the protector of the Fountain of Youth.
Okay. Oh, nice flip.
Way to go, Ben.
Ugh.
Total grossness.
Whoa.
I alone was chosen by Ponce de Leon and bound by honor to look
How long you been
over
watching
all
after
of
it?
eternity.
So you're like over 400 years old?
Yes,
Holy crap.
drinking the water from the Fountain of Youth will allow me to
Oh.
live forever. Time is your friend, not your enemy. Appreciate what you have.
Appreciate what you have. Which means he needs to go back to being grandpa. Please. Yeah, please. Like a little kitty seat. Little stick fly. Oh my god. He just killed it. Oh my god. This is such a weird episode. God. Oh my god. Like multiple attacks at once.
Maybe Hex never found it.
Oh, he found it. Exactly.
What? Lagora!
What was that? Oh.
Merely the beginning.
What in the hell?
What do we do now?
Super Saiyan.
Even if you went Heat Blast to melt Hex, he'd just blow you out like you were a birthday candle.
No way.
Maybe he was. Kamehameha. Oh. My god. That's an insane amount of power.
Oh yeah. Who's hot?
Oh yeah, who's smart?
Yeah.
It's going to be 10 forever.
Okay. Magically, there's back to normal now. Okay.
I am still all powerful!
Oh, young Hex.
Gee, Uncle Hex, something tells me I'll
What the
be giving
hell?
the orders from now on.
I think it's safe to say this was a really weird episode, but at the same time, it was fun as hell. It's Ben 10, like they always deliver on every single episode, no matter what the topic is. And if you would have told me that this show eventually was going to cover the Fountain of Youth, say back in season 1, I would have went, really? Like, how are they going to go about that? And the way they did, I think was really interesting, and including a character I wasn't expecting to see at all, because the opening sequence has Hex as a really old Hex, essentially, drinking a little bit, like a tiny sip of the Fountain of Youth, and then, where is more? Like, tell me where more is, you know, all that kind of stuff, and talking to this guy. And I thought we maybe would see this guy again that he's talking to, but we don't after this opening sequence. And then at the end, Charmcaster is holding a baby Hex. Just... It's a weird episode. It is, but it was really fun, and the Fountain of Youth was a real thing in this world, and now it's not. It's been protected for over 400 years or so, which is pretty insane. And of course, it ties all in because, of course, Ben, Gwen, and Max are, of course, on a tour and everything, and the Fountain of Youth. at the same time, Hex wants to find the Fountain of Youth, of course. It sometimes this show, and I really don't fault it, because you got to give an explanation, even if it's too convenient like this, where they both meet up. Because if they weren't in the area where Hex would show up to look for the Fountain of Youth, then this episode would have not have happened, until they learned after the fact that he had attacked and everything, because it probably would be reported on that Hex was attacking a town or whatever and looking for something, and they would eventually hear about it, you would think, right? But so they had to find a way to have it all tie in, so it's okay. Anyways, the approach of having young Max around 10 years old, and then a little like 3 or 4 year old Ben, Gwen said 4-year-old, like a 4-year-old tantrum, because he was like going crazy, going supernova or whatever with baby heat blast. Like, it's crazy to kind of see, because the visual is so strange, because of course in the opening everything was normal, but then we have it at the point where we have Gwen, who is not the oldest, because I think she's the same age as Ben, but it's Max who is essentially wearing like his clothes, but they're way too big for him. Then he wears Ben's clothes, which is kind of odd, and then we have Ben wearing like the bigger clothes because they're too big. They're too big for him, being little as he is. And it was so funny to see little like baby version of some of these heroes. And I think it's interesting too, because usually when we do the do Fountain of Youth type storylines, we see an instant effect or the instant results of the Fountain of Youth being used. Here, when they're at this carnival, which why would the guy even have the water there? Like, I don't even know why the guy is protecting the fountain. Why would he have that water there? I don't understand. But like, it was a delayed effect, because Max didn't turn into 10-year-old Max until a few minutes later. Same thing for Ben. Like, Ben only turned and revealed that he was actually way smaller when he became baby forearms. And then we see him turn back to be 4-year-old Ben. And then we see Stinkier Fly or something. That was honestly one of the funniest moments of the whole episode, because now he's even more ridiculous as the little baby stink fly, because now he's farting and killing off all those plants, those magical plants. Like, oh my gosh. Like, it's so ridiculous, but it makes sense in that aspect, because because Ben is being more of a child than he already is. So it kind of makes sense to go the route of like wanting to stink up the whole thing. Like, at one point, just covering the whole screen of just, it's like, oh my God. But it was funny. It was funny. I thought at times that the tone of the episode was kind of odd. Like, we had that part where they're talking about the Fountain of Youth and everything, and they're all running with that guy, and Ben is on Max's back, like, yay! And they're talking about the fact that Hex, is looking for the Fountain of Youth, and they're heading towards that. And it felt like, but I also understood the context of it, because Ben's 4 years old, and he's being a 4-year-old, so he's just having fun, just right on top of Max, just like riding on his shoulders. So I get it, but at the same time, it's kind of like, we have this dire situation going on here, but this episode was weird to begin with, so it's not too out of the ordinary to have this weird moment. So Hex, he became, like I said, baby Hex at the end with Charmcaster, which I was surprised to see her. And also, too, seeing Gwen use some magic against him, even though it really didn't affect too much. Like, that one part where she threw, like, a tornado type thing, and he just spun it around and flung it back. Also, too, her using magic, which we didn't see her use do the trick or use the magic. We didn't see her, but she was riding in a bumper car, and using that to fly towards one end of Hex. And here comes Ben as what's the name? Oh god, I'm forgetting the name. Cannonbolt. Yeah. And then of course they slam into each other and he disappears or whatever. So that was interesting to kind of see her using some magic as well, and the fact that she's using magic that Charmcaster from her book. I'm thinking with seeing Charmcaster at the end, I think that maybe that's tying into we'll see her again, because I really hope we do at this point, because of Gwen using more magic. I kind of hope that Charmcaster and her face off or something. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it'd be cool, right? It'd be awesome. Maybe we'll see that. Who knows? But it was kind of cool to see more magic. And I honestly wasn't expecting Hex. But then again, once we have Dr. Animo come back last week in episode 2 of this season 4, having him return, at that point, I think all things are kind of open for like people returning, like villains and stuff. Because With Dr. Animo has been around for so long, I mean, Hex returning isn't too much of a surprise. It surprised me, though. I'm like, oh crap, Hex. Hey. I mean, it makes sense to tie in because, of course, the magic was drained out of him or whatever, so I understand why they included him in the mix, but I really didn't even think about it. I'm like, oh, like, that's who that is. Okay, awesome. Hey, I'm not complaining because I think it's a really cool villain, so it's a cool character. And Charmcaster was introduced, and of course her Book of Spells, and then the whole thing with that whole weird episode where they're jumping, switching souls or switching bodies. Essentially, I think it's switching souls or something, and that's how Gwen gets the book through that episode. So I think it all kind of ties in. I think the storytelling is really, really good, and I'm loving the hell out of it. I mean, this. They could have went in so many different directions with covering a Fountain of Youth type story, but they went a little bit of a goofy side. But it was fine, because at the end of the day, this show likes to take, I think, typical tropes or things that we typically would see in other types of shows and films, and does a little twist on them. And this is not even a newer show. This is an older show, but yet they're throwing curves into storylines we've kind of seen in other stuff, whether it's comics, TV shows, movies, regular books as well. Like, they're finding things that have been done before, covering certain things, but they're finding little ways to make it their own, to make it unique. I think that's why Ben 10 stands out because of that. Because this Fountain of Youth story, like I said, could have went in multiple different directions. At any point, they could have went to a typical path, but instead they made it to where the Fountain of Youth is not effective right away. They made it to where the Fountain of Youth isn't some because see, usually when you think of Fountain of Youth, a lot of times when it's visually shown, there's this beautiful it's in a beautiful area that's hidden away. This is in just some dark cave, some dark dirt looking cave or whatever that's kind of hidden away. But it's not like this beautiful magical place, and the water wasn't crystal clear and it was perfect water. You know what I'm saying? The visual usually you see of that, but here it looks like just a random lake underground in a cave. But it's the Fountain of Youth. But you wouldn't have known that if you were just stumbled upon it by accident. You would have no idea unless you accidentally drank it. So yeah, I think that's really interesting. And I'm guessing that guy who's been protecting it, would he die or would he just start aging? Because he didn't actually fall over him. I'm trying to find the words. I'm tired as hell. Sorry. But he's been drinking it, so I'm guessing he'll just start aging appropriately. Instead of gradually, he'll just die. Because Ben and Max go back to normal, just like that in the next scene. So I'm guessing since he was drinking the Fountain of Youth, that he'll just start aging his own, just as a normal person would age at that point. I'm guessing, but yeah. So overall, fun episode, enjoyed it, and I'm curious to see what happens next. I'm loving Season 4 so far, and I thank you guys so much for supporting the videos and supporting the playlist for Ben 10 reactions, and I'm curious to know what you guys thought about this episode. Whatever thoughts you have, guys, let me know in the comments below. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out.